Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are going to be talking about 5 things, maybe even have a bonus number 6 in there of things you should never do while riding a motorcycle. Now I'm going to tell you, these things will apply to you whether you're on a 2-wheeler or a 3-wheeler, that much I can assure you. So knowing that, if you would do me a favor before we get started, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Take just a second, go down there and click that subscribe button, ring your notification bell so you don't miss any of this content. I would appreciate it. By the way, I'm loving the jacket, still loving the jacket. For those of you who are interested, this is the Dionysi Sevilla jacket, and it is a textile jacket. Had a lot of comments questioning me about the dark color, if the dark color was creating heat issues for me. I'm going to tell you no. In fact, every time I go riding, I have to look down to see if the darn thing's zipped up. I get so much airflow, I feel like it's literally unzipped and I have air just passing through like that. So, you know, I'm not having any issues with whether it's too hot due to the dark colors. I know there were those who were going, man, that's too dark. I would never wear a dark jacket in the summertime. Honestly, I don't wear white jackets. They end up looking like dark jackets. And if they're with me for a few weeks, they'll be dark jackets because I put miles on them and they are covered in road grime. That I can assure you. So anyway, but just to dispel the idea of, is this jacket hot because of the dark color? No, it's not. Now maybe if you were out laying in the sun in it, that might make a difference, but riding on a motorcycle, so far so good, baby. So there you go, there's that. All right, so without further ado, the top 5 things, going from what I would consider the least critical to the most critical. 5 things with maybe a bonus thrown in there that you should never do while riding a motorcycle. Number one, don't ride in fear. You know, that sounds like a very odd statement to some, but if you've ever been a motorcycle rider and you're on that ride for the first time and all of a sudden you just find yourself afraid, and we've all been there where maybe the weather gets a little bit crazy and you're afraid. It's not even about your limitations or not. You may be well within your limitations, but if you are afraid, you need to stop. You need to pull over and gather your thoughts and figure out what you're going to do. There are things that occur with you physiologically when you are afraid. One, you do this. You grab those handlebars and you squeeze them like crazy because you're afraid. You'll hunker down with your back. You'll find yourself bowing up and flexing and tensing up. And what that does, that creates a dangerous scenario for you. That scenario being delayed response time, overreaction to things that might not really be a real problem. You'll overreact. You may slam on the brakes or just totally snatch the throttle in one direction or the other. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble by doing those things. So if you're afraid, pull over to the side, gather your thoughts, get it back together, and step on out there. Number 2. All right, well, number 2 is another simple one that you would think would be readily apparent. Don't tailgate. I'm going to tell you that motorcycle riders, we always complain about cars tailgating on us, but whenever I'm riding with friends and I see them ride up the rear end of a car, it makes me nervous as a cat. Because if that car slams on brakes, I know there is no way, especially if they're not covering their brake. And on the Spyder, that means you would have to cover your brake down there with your foot. But on a road bike, regular street bike, if you're not covering your brake, just the time to get your fingers wrapped around that brake, you're in the back of the car. Don't tailgate. Man, that is a very simple thing, you know. And look, I understand on a motorcycle you have more power, you have more giddy up to get around and all that stuff. And it's very easy to get frustrated to where you run right up on the back of that car and to get impatient and angry because you want to go. You know, they're sitting in the air conditioning and you're not. You're out there cooking in the heat and you find yourself getting irritated and you want to get around them. So, you know, make sure that you don't do that. You just don't want to do that. So don't tailgate. Another thing is, don't tailgate while you're even sitting still. You don't want to get right up on the rear end of a car when you have cars coming up behind you. You need to leave yourself an escape route. What if you see that car barreling down and you're like, he's not going to stop? You know, years ago I was on my Harley and I had my son on the back. He was probably 9. A guy started rolling and I did not have an exit strategy at all. It was just, I had nowhere to go. I was on a narrow road. I'd gotten too close to the car in front of me, and I see the guy behind me rolling forward, looking at his phone. I'm honking my horn, I'm waving my arms, and he's still rolling towards me. I grab my son, yank him, I throw the kickstand down on the motorcycle, I grab my son, I get off of the motorcycle, I'm running towards the sidewalk, screaming for the guy to stop. He looks up, he slammed on the brakes. I kid you not, he was that close to the back of my motorcycle. Had I not gotten my son out of the way and gotten that guy's attention, it could have been bad. He could have crushed us between those two cars. He could have crushed us to death. Those are things. Don't tailgate. Don't tailgate when you're sitting still. Don't tailgate when you're rolling. Give yourself plenty of room to work. All right, number 3. Do not ride beyond your limitations. Man, if there's anything that will get you in trouble, it is riding beyond your limitations. You know, so many times we go out and we start getting confident with our skills. We find ourselves singing that song and being excited, and we can go a little faster, we can go a little further, and we make that turn and we realize, uh-oh, I am in a world of hurt. You know, years ago I was filming a video on my Speed Triple, as a matter of fact, and I was going to do one on, you know, on the progression of learning to do a wheelie. I ended up canceling that series before I ever released it because I felt like it was irresponsible once I started making it. In my 3rd episode, I was pretty confident with what I was doing. I was on a road over here called McCracken, and it's twisting and winding, and there's a straight section where I was doing the wheelies on, and I would always have an area I'd be like, this is my cutoff, I shouldn't do this. Well, I was confident, and so I decided, because I didn't get a good shot, I was going to go ahead and pop one more wheelie up there. Got something on the windshield there. Boop. There we go. And I decided to go ahead and pop that old wheelie a little bit late. Well, I did. And what I did is, by the time I was getting ready to put that front wheel on the ground, it was too late. I was in a turn or in a curve, and I put the front wheel down as quickly as I could. Well, at this point I've got a lot of speed, and you know, when you hit your brakes, the bike stands up, so I'm having to slow down because I'm too fast to make the turn. Finally, I'm leaning, I'm trail braking into the turn. Well, it's late. It was very, very late in the turn, and I went off into the grass. In fact, it was on this road. This is McCracken. I'll show you where I was. I was really stupid. But this was the isolated road that I worked with. Anyway, so somewhere right in here, I would come out of this, I would pop a quick wheelie. I went off over here in the grass, and there was a massive ditch. There was a ditch over there, and that ditch, well, let's say that I missed it by less than an inch, and I was in the grass. And you can see the slope off. The back tire was sliding down, and if I would have hit the brakes, I would have gone down as well. So it was really try not to oversteer, work my way back up onto the tarmac, and I was able to do that. But I'm going to tell you, you know that feeling you get when the adrenaline's running and your legs are hurting and your heart is pounding because of all of the adrenaline in your body? That's where it was, and I was riding beyond my limitations, and I knew it. It was a bad decision, and it was a bad decision from the beginning. So always, always ride within your limitations. And that doesn't mean just doing wheelies and stupid stuff. That means even in a straight line, if you're uncomfortable doing, you know, 70, then do 65. If you're uncomfortable taking a turn at 40, then don't do it at 40. If you're uncomfortable riding in the rain, then pull over. If you're uncomfortable riding in the heat, Pull over. Don't ride beyond your limitations, whether it be the limitations of you on the motorcycle or just your physical limitations due to your fitness level and survival in this external environment that we're in. All right, so stay within your limitations, my friends. Numero 4. Wear your gear. Wear your gear. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, man, this one is just been hammered by everyone and their brother. Wear your gear, wear your gear, wear your gear. I'm just tired of being told to wear my gear, coach. I do understand that. I understand it. But you need to wear your gear. Certainly wear the old brain bucket. You know, I had a subscriber here recently ask me, hey coach, what should I wear when I ride? And I said the very first thing you need is a helmet. That's number one. You got to have a helmet. What is this in the road? Huh, flower pot. Don't want to run over that. The first thing you need is a good helmet. And then the next thing you need is a nice jacket and a pair of gloves. I would recommend buying those as a unit. In fact, I would say it's better to buy an inexpensive jacket and an inexpensive pair of gloves that provide level 1 protection. And you'll see the rating. The rating is the same on these things. It just may be a little hotter, a little heavier, but the protection is there. Find yourself an inexpensive jacket like a Bilt or a Sedici. Get you an inexpensive jacket and an inexpensive pair of gloves, and you'll go far with that. Next would be a good pair of riding boots. I think by the time you're there, if you go quality on your helmet, go quality on your boots, and then backflow into the jacket and the gloves and replace them with a little, more quality gear, then go back and buy you a nice pair of riding jeans. It's funny, people tell me I'm on a Spyder, I don't need all that stuff. Well, okay, that's fine, don't wear it. That's your call. Look, I'm not one of those guys that will preach at you about what you should or shouldn't do as far as that goes. If you tell me, hey, Coach Bob, I drive in a wife beater and a pair of flip-flops, well, knock yourself out, brother. That's good with you. I'm good with it. It ain't my skin. I got no skin in the game. And I'm on a Spyder. I'm safe. I can't fall over. Well, you know what? You run in that ditch, you're just as exposed as you are on a Goldwing. You get hit by a car and you slide down the road, you hit a wet spot, you hydroplane, and you get thrown off of this thing 20, 30 miles an hour. Yeah, well, you do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. Wear your gear. It'll save you a lot of trouble in the long run. And it doesn't matter how hot it is. Buy you some nice cool gear. You can figure it out. It's okay. I had another guy tell me, well, I can't afford to do it. Well, maybe you can't. I understand that. Times are tough. You don't have to buy a $500 jacket. You don't have to buy a $1,000 helmet. You know what? It's amazing. 2 pizzas will buy you a pair of gloves. 3 pizzas will buy you a jacket. That's just the way it is. A tank of gas will buy you a dadgum helmet. I saw this guy walking like 5 miles ago. He's on it, man. He is on it. So wear your gear to save you a lot of trouble. Save your pennies, don't order the pizza, that sort of stuff. It'll pay for itself. And trust me, if you get hurt, if you ever fall off of a motorcycle or you get hit, it's worth the price of admission. It really is. You don't want to go there. And trust me, I know. I've been down without gear on. I've broken bones. I've been black and blue. It ain't worth it. All right, number 5. Number 5, and this is the most important because I did a thing on, not dying on a motorcycle, and this is the number 1 reason that people die on motorcycles. No, it is not SUVs. No, it is not, school moms driving. It's not cars T-boning you. It's not this or that. It's not even going too fast. It's drinking. It's driving while impaired. Driving under the influence. I don't care if that means, and there is more than one way to be influenced, by the way. You could be tired. You could just be tired. If you find yourself nodding off, I know what you're saying, Coach, I could never nod off while riding a motorcycle. You can. Don't do it. If you're super duper cold and you feel hypothermic, warm up. If you're so hot that you feel dizzy and lightheaded, you're impaired. You're impaired. It's funny how motorcycle culture always has drinking. You know, it's true. You know, when you go out on a poker run, or you're going to this or that, you know, what does everybody do? They grab a beer or two. That's what they do. I understand it. I've been there. I've done that. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't get drunk. But the question is, how much does it take? You're going to have to know your limitations. You're going to have to know what is impaired and what isn't impaired. And you're going to have to know for real, because not only if you get in a wreck, you could kill yourself, but if you get stopped by the law, Johnny Law ain't going to be kind to you. He's not going to be. And so you do have to be careful with that. So there's the side where you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to hurt others, and you certainly don't want to be put into pokey by Johnny Law for being a dumb alum when you could have just said no. You could have had a Coca-Cola instead. All right. Well, you know, I was going to give you one bonus, but I'm going to give you two, just for the heck of it. All right, bonus number 1. Don't drive with dummies. Don't drive with dummies. What does that mean? You ever been out with that guy that just wants to go really, really fast and burn around the turns, and you're trying to keep up with them? Don't ride with them. If it's tempting to you, don't ride with them. If they push you beyond your limitations, do not do it. Look, if I make you uncomfortable, you have one of two options. One, you can say, I'm just not riding with that guy. Or two, you can simply say, hey, coach, you're riding a little too fast for me. I'm not comfortable with that. I need to slow down. Can you go a little slower? Or just go off the back. You know what that means? That just means that you slow down and I look in the rearview mirror and you're way off the back. Which means it tells me something. You can't keep up. It's not that you don't want to keep up. You can't keep up. Or you don't feel like you can keep up safely. And that's when I know I need to slow down. That you are riding with a dummy. Now, it may not be dumb for me. I may be completely comfortable with that. But you may not be. And that's okay. There again, that's part of that knowing your limitations. But don't ride with foolish people, though, that are sincerely foolish. Don't ride with those that are running red lights and putting you at harm's way, angering drivers, weaving in and out of traffic, and you know that all they're going to do is make somebody mad. Trust me, you're them. As far as the ride driver is concerned, you're that person. You're with them. It is guilt by association. And with as angry as people are right now, they'll run you over just like they will the other guy. You know, there is this old saying, you might have heard it. To walk in the company of the wise will make you wise. To walk in the company of fools, dig this, it doesn't say will make you foolish. It says will cause you harm. Hanging out with foolish people will cause you harm. It will. Yeah, you'll find yourself seriously dead. So don't ride with foolish people. Don't do it. All right. And the last bonus, bonus number 2. Don't ride mad. If you're mad, if you're angry, don't ride. Because I'm going to tell you, that ride, to me, that goes right in that impaired category. You're actually impaired if you're riding angry, because you're gonna make irrational decisions. You're gonna make stupid decisions. You're gonna rush out in front of that car, and all of a sudden, you're gonna find yourself getting hit, and that's not cool. You don't want that to happen. So don't ride angry. It's not worth it. All right, so there's 5 things and 2 bonuses. 5 things you should not do while riding a motorcycle. Hopefully that'll help you, give you something to chew on intellectually and emotionally, you know, when you get out on this thing and you are putting your life in your hands. Because we know that riding is inherently dangerous, and it is. You are out here in the open. You have skin in the game, and you need to be careful. I want to see you. I want to ride with you. I want to hang out with you and enjoy riding with you. And if I make you uncomfortable, I want you to have the boldness to go, hey coach, that's beyond my limitations. Or hey coach, could you speed up? And which I'll say, hey, I'm riding my ride, move on up front, and I'll keep up with you if I feel comfortable. And if not, I'll see you later. It's okay. It's all right. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, all that jazz. You know how much I do really appreciate it. Coach Vic and I are hoping to make some trips this year. We've been really seriously wanting to do the tail of the Dragon and wanting to do the back of the Dragon in the Blue Ridge Parkway. And you know, I'm just going to be quite frank with you. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But right now, it is looking somewhat bleak. I just don't know how it's going to play out. If it does play out, it may be me doing it solo. And I'd much rather have my bride with me. But if I have to go alone, I will. But Coach Vic, she's doing well, but we'll just say that the fatigue factor and the recovery after her surgery has created, I think, more the drive, that desire to get out and do things. You know, naps are calling her name, and getting up in the morning is a little difficult right now. So we just don't know what's going to happen with that. So keep her in your prayers, and know that I'm going to be riding as much as I can when I can, and hope to get up to Blue Ridge Parkway area soon. I've got jury duty here in a couple of weeks. Uncle Sam has called my name. I got to salute and go do it. That's how it works. So if you got jury duty, just do like me. Do it with a smile on your face and a song in your heart, knowing that's part of being an integral piece of the fabric of this fine society that we live in here in America, because it really is awesome here. Don't buy the lie. If you're international and you see all the news and they talk about how crappy it is and how scary it is over here, it ain't. Don't believe it. It ain't scary to me, and I'm having a ball. Yeah, there are bad things that happen. There are bad things that happen everywhere. It's just the way life is. We ain't getting out of this thing alive, that's for sure. But that's for another conversation. So do me a favor, until next time, you go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, got to develop them big old muscles, and that lean, thin waistline. Take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I will see you on the road real soon, hopefully on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and hopefully with Coach Vic. All right.